Here's a common trend that you see. Xbox does something, everybody says this is good, then you're going to have maybe one PlayStation fan that will be on the channel saying, it's not really that big of a deal. Even though that you might even see some of PlayStation or Xboxes, depending on how you look at it, Xboxes detractors or some PlayStation aficionados actually acknowledge, you're still going to see that sentiment. So in my video where I talked about these PlayStation talking heads finally coming to terms and saying, all right, Game Pass looks like it's a solid deal to get through this first quarter of Xbox releases, this audience member said to me, they said, so PlayStation customers, in quote, finally realize that Game Pass is legit? No, we don't. We are happy buying the games we want that Xbox are sending over and missing the games we don't want. But saying PlayStation fans finally realize Game Pass is legit because Xbox has dropped 4 games with 3 being on PlayStation is disingenuous. Now, here's the thing. I made sure to say that in that video that not that the Xbox fans actually need the, congratulations or whatever it is, nor do they need the approval from PlayStation fans, nor do they need the validation from PlayStation fans. Game Pass has always been a legit proposition. In fact, I'm saying that as a PlayStation, player and a PC player. I played on PlayStation for the most part from about 2015-ish, and then I moved back to PC around 2016 because, again, I've always kind of been a PC person. Couldn't be bothered about Xbox. Don't care about the box. If PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo disappeared today, I might even remember. Maybe I could smile to it. That's how much I'm not even bothered. But seeing the way Xbox has positioned Game Pass, where I myself as a PC player can look and say there's some value here, I can tell you that when I was talking about it at first from the position of a PC player years ago. And even as I was talking about it, it was PlayStation players that were constantly saying that it was not a good proposition. So I don't even know what it looks like from an Xbox player's perspective to get, the shutdown attempts. What I know is the PC player's perspective on telling people that Game Pass was actually a good deal and PlayStation players trying to come in and disparage and try to downplay it. So again, I'm not talking about it because of these 4 games. For you to say that they're bringing 4 games to PlayStation is actually what is disingenuous. How do I know? Ladies and gentlemen, were we not here in 2024 when they dropped Indiana Jones and they dropped Call of Duty Black Ops 6? Like, where is this particular 4 games coming from? Was Starfield not on the running, I say 2 years ago with 2023's fall release, and Hellblade, was it not somewhere around the middle of this year? Have they not been putting other titles like in 2023 when Game Pass put over $9,000 according to an article compared to about $8,000 worth of games on its service that PlayStation Plus did? So basically Game Pass was beating PlayStation Plus from a value proposition. They brought Wolong. They brought a bunch of other games day one to the service. And now that the service is basically in the position to bring more games, that's not just the developer direct. And that's the problem. You see, these PlayStation fans, get your head out of your own little sky bubble that you've created. There are other games that are coming on Game Pass that you have absolutely no idea about, that were not even shown in the developer direct, which even makes Xbox's proposition a lot more crazy. So again, you cannot try to say that. Like, there's no world where you can say that and then, you can sound legit. I'm sorry. Or maybe, you have been, basically saying stuff and no one has ever checked you. You said Marlon Gaming is a div. I don't know what that is. You said screaming over games is the type of BS that I can't stand. You say you don't own games, in quote. What happens to all the games you have on Game Pass if you decide to stop paying? The same thing that happens to your games on PlayStation Plus if you stop playing. I mean, look at this. This guy doesn't even know that I played on PlayStation. I'm learning Xbox. Like, I'm new here. I finally looked at Xbox and said, what are these guys even doing? Because on the PC side, I was like, yo, wait, they're giving this stuff for how much again? Remember, Game Pass at one point used to be like $5. Like, right? But then, you could argue about the value or not. You could be like, well, it's probably, with games I may not want to play. But now, the games that they're sending to you on PlayStation, by all means, be happy paying for the ones you want, because what you're doing is you're creating a benefit for the Xbox gamer who has access to Game Pass and even the PC gamer who's in the Xbox ecosystem. So for you to say that, what happens to the games if you stop subscribing to Game Pass? It's the same thing that happens to the games that you have on PlayStation Plus, unless you buy the games, because, contrary to a lot of the fugazi beliefs, in the, I don't know where y'all are getting this stuff from. You can actually click a button to purchase a game on Game Pass. I mean, I cannot zoom it in too much for y'all, but there's a buy button here. Buy a game called Wolfenstein The Old Blood, included in Game Pass. I can install it because I have Game Pass Ultimate, or I can choose the option to go ahead and buy it, including Indiana Jones. Even though that just came out, I can see it in the store. It has a discount that's available for me. I can pay $62.99, or I can use my Game Pass subscriptions. So again, I just don't understand how this mentality actually comes about. It's the exact same thing with the digital games you buy on PlayStation. That's going to happen with digital games that basically you've bought on Xbox. They're not going to go ahead and, do anything to it except you violate TOS, which is the reality. So again, you're very funny because you said this and you thought maybe somehow you owned this argument. These dudes are hilarious. Once a couple of games drop that are worth playing, it goes to their heads, man. Nothing has changed, my guy. Well, nothing apart from Xbox doing showcases where they advertise games for sale on PlayStation. This is a console warrior. This is somebody who has the mentality and loves exclusivity wars, but doesn't have a place to actually get the outlet. So they have to come on the Video Game Fight School channel. Let me just tell you something. I am that person where I hate exclusivity. So there already is, in my opinion, what I think is a straight up slant against exclusivity. And when I see somebody's trying to, in a sense, tout the fact that there is no exclusivity on a game, I have to basically say that your position is the joke of the gaming industry. It is your position that basically fueled these companies to have the audacity to go into anti-competitive measures and then decide that they're going to turn around and try to get money back from their audiences that they abandoned for years. That's literally what it was, because all these so-called exclusive games, they are no longer exclusive. PlayStation is bringing all its games to PC basically now, day one, or they're shortening the timeline. Lost Soul Aside is coming to PC. Lego Horizon Adventures came to PC day one. MLB The Show is going to Xbox so that it can make more sales. So you really don't have any leg to stand on, because that practice has basically been exposed as a farce. That's literally what it is. So for you to say, look at these guys, your heads and blah, 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 blah. No. You are talking to somebody who plays on PC, who basically has dealt with the Steam ecosystem for a long time, having to do away with a lot of the BS that comes from console and some stuff like this. But I have to say, with all due respect, you really have to chill and calm down, because you're taking this whole conversation to a place where it's in your console war framework. And in reality, that framework has already been shattered. It's null and void. When PlayStation gave its audiences the exclusives, what did they do? They went ahead and looked at it. They scrolled up to the top seller and bought Call of Duty and bought EA FC Sports and bought, the other games and V-Bucks for Fortnite. That's what they did. They literally ignored these so-called exclusives. You said, look, none of you were right when we was telling you years ago that Xbox IPs will be on PlayStation and Game Pass isn't making money. Two lies. I don't know if I saw anybody that said that Xbox games will be on PlayStation. I don't remember seeing anybody. Even though I'm an advocate for Xbox games being on PlayStation, I don't like exclusivity. So if you think this is some kind of an own, miss me with that. And then saying that Game Pass is not making money? Where'd you get that from? You see, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you, Game Pass is literally living rent-free in the heads of these so-called PlayStation fans. I have no reason to think that this is actually now something of a serious concern, other than just basically, constantly showing that the indoctrination has been insanely, maddening. Another incident happened when MBG said, I may have to consider getting Game Pass. I made a video and I highlighted it real briefly. There was a little video where, oh no, it's Alex, he was being funny. He took a look at it and, he was saying, oh no, he said that. But something was actually pointed out by Dirk Griggity. Shout out to Dirk Griggity in his video where he was talking about the PlayStation fans actually wanting to subscribe to, and look at Game Pass in a different light. In the case of MBG, one of his channel members said that if he subscribed to Game Pass, that he was toast, that he was going to be thrown out of the PlayStation community. These folk are so perturbed by a value proposition that is much better than anything that is available on their platform. that they're willing to buy these games that Xbox is going to send to their platform with the possibility of basically 2 years worth of Game Pass subscriptions. That's crazy. Thanks, Microsoft, this person said. Look at the flex. I will happily buy the games I want and skip the games I don't. I hope it helps you and you can finally start making money off the many of your games. Now you've become a third-party publisher. Yeah, 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 yeah. We get you. Come here. Remember when I gave you guys that whole thing and I told you that these PlayStation fans, they're going to be hate buying these Microsoft games, thinking that they're basically, sticking it to the company. It is so crazy just to see this. Just to see this kind of a mentality. Goodness gracious. How have they got you so, mind bent that you think that your actions in this case is not an admission that your own platform is bereft of offering you games that you would like to play? Because if PlayStation was actually feeding you guys that well, good games, you wouldn't be worried about thanking Microsoft for games that they're bringing to your platform, right? It's basically the same thesis that Nintendo fans are putting up here, saying that even though these new third-party games are going to be coming on Nintendo Switch 2, people are still going to want to buy Zelda and buy Mario Kart and all these other games because they actually value the quality of the Nintendo games. The PlayStation games don't have that much value in the eyes of the people outside of PlayStation. And that's just a reality. And, there's nothing wrong with it. It is a very saturated market outside the Nintendo ecosystem. Everybody is going crazy. Nintendo has a filter just by its hardware. So again, I'd say calm down because this is not you flexing. This is you making a real joke out of, an unfortunate situation for anybody who's invested in the PlayStation ecosystem at this moment. Even seeing your talking heads and your aficionados finally getting just 4 games. Because remember, there was a Summer Games Fest where they showed a lot more than 4. So there's no need to pretend like it's just 4 games. There's also the reality that they own Bethesda, and everything that Bethesda usually brings out is coming, the way of Game Pass users. They also have relationships with other developers out there, and they have their Xbox Game Studios, which will also be bringing games as well. So again, if you think it's a flex for you to say, I will happily buy your Microsoft game, blah, blah, blah. Well, should we tell them? Nah, let's leave them. Thanks for watching the video. Peace out.